our mission is to help entrepreneurs think, feel, and do better. Before we get to the feel part, though, we need to know where the pain points are and how we can fix those. So where does a lack of belief show up for an entrepreneur in their business and indeed in their life?
Yeah, very, very costly on the personal and the professional side, right? I'd say the first thing I probably didn't communicate it effectively enough with the original recording was how a lack of self-belief equals a lack of conviction. And so when you have conviction, people follow the path to strongest conviction. That's why if someone's got bad motives and strong conviction, you can be in trouble. People can be completely convicted of the wrong thing. So when you actually match up that you've got self-belief, you got the right type of belief about yourself. If you have the wrong type of belief about yourself, there's no conviction.
Right.
And the conviction then has to spread to your product and service. For years, right? So I did all these seminars in the real estate space, and now obviously it's expanded beyond. But the number of times that I would meet somebody and they'd been watching the news and listen to this and listen to these reports, and this is, 10 years ago, and they're, the market's so bad and so on and so forth. And they didn't believe that real estate would go up in value. Now, think about it, like someone 10 years ago who bought a bunch of real estate is sitting fat and happy today. Mm-hmm. But these people who are selling the product of real estate, they weren't convicted that the future was going to be better. They didn't believe prices were going to be going up. They listened to the latest 22-year-old who's blogging out how the market's going to be a disaster, and they've never experienced anything, don't even own a house or a mortgage. But that was the latest clickbait that got taken. Right. Yeah. The fact is, I would look someone in the eye. Well, if you don't believe that someone should buy a bloody house, why would they buy a house? If you don't believe it's the best investment that 97% of people have ever made, then why in the world would they believe it? And so, there's the lack of belief in yourself. Then there's the lack of belief about your products or services that you offer. Then there's the conviction yourself about your offering, and I'm a big fan of Estee Lauder. She does. I've sold every day of my life, and if I have to believe in what I sell, and when I believe in it, I sell it hard. Well, when you're offering a service, the service you're offering is yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself, you sure as heck don't believe in your offering. Yeah, and it's not all comparison thinking, but it's like, okay, I came to this conclusion as a 22-year-old real estate agent, right? So here I am, I'm 3 years in the country, I came from a rough start, motorcycle accident, hundreds of thousands of bills, I'm in the business, and I would see the realtors who had the big fancy car and they were in the neighborhood, and I didn't know that it was lease. I thought they were rich. I didn't know they're selling these $1 million homes, and I'm not qualified to do that. Mm-hmm. And as I had different experiences and ran into some of these realtors and realized, hang on a second here, they're fur coat, no knickers. They've all this talk, but they don't really deliver. And I'm selling these little houses and I'm delivering big time. And I remember one morning I was shaving myself and looking in the mirror, and I said to myself, if the president of the country, if the CEO of a major corporation, if your best friend was buying or selling a home, should they use you? And the answer I had, which was the right answer at the time, was, I don't know. I don't know if they should. And then the question was, why not? And I went on a little journey myself to go find that out. When I had the conviction that I basically got to the point where I understood what I brought to the table, and I saw what other people were bringing to the table, I'd ask people, what was your experience with the previous realtor like? And they tell me how it happened and what went on. And why they were working with me. There was a reason they were working with me and not their previous person. Mm-hmm. And I'd make a note of it, and after a while I was like, hang on a second here. Maybe I have a bit more to offer than I realized. And when I became the guy that when I shaved myself in the mirror and I go, not only am I the person they should use, they're missing out. That eventually it evolved to I'd walk into somebody's home, and some couple needed to sell their house and move out of state, and the market was tough and things were tight, and it was going to be a real trick to sell this home. And I remember I'd look in their eye and I'd say to myself, it's your lucky day. It's your lucky day.
That's awesome.
Now, by the way, you have to say it to yourself, otherwise you come off as a jerk. But I got to the point where I realized it's their lucky day, because I was so passionate. I would treat their money better than I treat my own money. I was going to take care of their family like it was my own family. I was going to take care of this house like it was on my own house. I was going to give them the advice that I would only give to like a family member or best friend, and that it was their lucky day. And I had the skills and the drive to do it, and I was going to figure it out. So I think lack of self-belief, or you know, when you're lacking there, you lack that conviction. You lack that conviction in your product or service. You lack that conviction in your offering. And I would also say, then if you have staff, people follow the path of strongest conviction. If you have a staff and you're, you know, like a kamikaze pilot on his 27th mission, Zig Ziglar used to say, like, if I don't have that, then no one has it. You know, we were just on an all-staff meeting with 250 staff. And what did I say to them? On that broadcast, I said, our company runs on belief that we're going to impact and improve the lives of people. And the way that happens is you have to be, as a staff member of Buffini Company, learn the content and use it on yourself. You should be using it. You should be writing goals. You should be doing the personal growth stuff. You should be doing the business development stuff. You should be working on your skills. And as you grow, then you're able to give that gift to other people. Our whole company runs on belief. And you just heard me an hour ago share that with 250 employees. So the bottom line is, there's not a person who works for me, is not, whether they like me, love our company or not, who they don't know where, they know where I stand. They know what I believe. They know what I'm certain of. And the vast majority of them have followed me in that. And that's why we have such a passionate group of people.
Yeah.
So I think it's not just a small thing. I think it's everything.
Oh, there were a lot of heads nodding on that.
Sure. But I think that belief, though, that, you know, that self-belief is everything. For yourself, for your product and service, for your business, and then for your staff.